Hi everyone. If you're not familiar with Notebook LM, I just wanted to show it to you really quickly because I am finding it to be so useful. You can just search up in Google Notebook LM. It brings you to a free page. You just create an account, put your email in, and click the button that says try for free. And then you can create notebooks. And what I really like about them is you can upload sources from Google Docs, websites, YouTube videos. You could even copy and paste text. And what makes it really wonderful is you're able to then interact or chat with the sources that you've uploaded. So I'm finding this to be really useful for things that I am studying. So for example, right now I'm studying the impact of technology on children. And so I've created a notebook for that. I uploaded the Anxious Generation book as a PDF and also an article or another resource about the age of increasing anxiety for kids. In the center here, it gives me a summary, and I can also interact with this text by just typing in a question, and it will search my sources. Whatever sources I have selected here, it will search and provide the answer to my question. I also like the fact that it will sometimes prompt you. I don't know if you could see it down here, but it prompts you with some questions. So the question I'm prompted with here is, how has technology changed parenting styles? And then it gives you that information, and it even shows you exactly where from your source it was located. So really handy if you are studying anything, doing any kind of research, writing papers, taking any classes. It's fantastic. So I wanted to share that with you. You can also save it as a note, you can copy it, and the best part about this is over here in the studio, because once you have selected your sources, I have both of my sources selected, but you could pick one or the other. It will create a study guide for you. It can create a briefing doc. It can even create an interesting timeline. That's a fun one to play around with, as well as FAQs. So just to take a look at what the study guide might look like, it gives you some quiz questions so you can test your knowledge. It gives you an answer key, and it also gives you essay questions and key terms. This is really great to review anything that you're studying to help, just kind of make sure you've absorbed the information. You can give yourself a little quiz, but it also might have some real application for our middle school teachers as well, and maybe even high school teachers who want to generate some information. They can upload their sources and create information, quizzes and things like that. The other thing I wanted to mention is that it's really great for extracting data because it's just searching your sources. It's not going out on the web to get information. Let's say you have a policy, for example, the truancy policy. I didn't have time to really read through the many pages that were combined in this document, so it gives me a little summary here, and then I can click on this and it gives me keywords, so I can search all the information that was provided by keyword as well. So let's say I want to find out about truancy interventions, click on that, and it gives me, information summarizing from the document about truancy interventions. This is a great place to upload all of those memos that you get from the state, and then it's searchable. You can upload your contract here if you want and simply type the question in, what's the sick day payout? And it will bring you right to that point in the contract. That's really handy for administrators. We have to look through a lot of documents, and a lot of times it's not the most interesting reading, so this just saves us time and brings us right to the source that we're looking for. The other thing I wanted to mention about Notebook LM, and this is the last thing I'll say, is that it has a wonderful feature that is a lot of fun. It creates podcasts for you. So I have my two sources here about the anxious generation, the impact of technology on children, and I clicked a button that said generate, and it made a podcast. And the podcast is also interactive. It's in beta mode, so hopefully it will work, but I'll try and share that with you as well. Really great for listening to your articles instead of sitting down to read them. It created a 23-minute podcast based on these two sources, and it sounds like this.
Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into something pretty important?
I think so.
We're going to be tackling Gen Z anxiety today.
Okay.
And, it's a big one.
Yeah.
We all know it's a thing.
Right.
Did you know that since around 2010, depression in teens has become like 2.5 times more prevalent?
So that's pretty interesting that it can create that podcast. It only uses the information from your sources, so it pulls out the key information and puts it in a really engaging format. I did see a teacher use this in class the other day. Uploaded an article and then just played the podcast for the students. So that was a lot of fun. They enjoyed listening to it, and it was a great way of presenting information in a new way for the students. But the most fun part of this is the interactive mode. The podcast is going, and you can click this beta button here. It says interactive mode. Sometimes it's a little glitchy, but we'll try it, and you can interact with the podcast.
Wow.
It's huge.
Yeah, that is.
So, what is behind this massive shift?
Oh, hey, welcome. What's up?
Yeah, I was just wondering if you could discuss the impact of technology on elementary students in particular during your conversation.
Absolutely, I can definitely do that.
We can totally weave that in.
We were planning on talking about solutions later on, but
Yeah.
this is a perfect place to bring it up.
Perfect.
Okay, let's do it.
Cool. Okay, so
I mean, he
So, pretty neat that your questions can influence the course of the podcast. So, the podcast would then change directions and answer my direct question. So, that's pretty neat as well. So, maybe you'll think of some other uses for this. I certainly have. I am, this is just the beginning of the notebooks that I have. You can add up to 50 sources in each notebook too. I think less is more. I'd rather have more notebooks and fewer sources because then I don't know, I feel like it does a better job of really pulling out the key details when you have limited sources. But you try it and see how you like it. Hope you have fun with it, and I hope that was helpful.